Hello everybody, Soul is Joe Survival here again with another video. So today's topic of discussion is going to be on gold and silver and my own personal experiences with precious metals. However, before I dive into that, I will be starting off by saying that I am not a financial expert, and so everything that I am going to be stating in this video is my own personal experiences with precious metals, my opinions, and so forth. If you enjoy this sort of content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and please share. Anyways, on with the topic at hand. So when I first got into buying precious metals, roughly about 4 years ago, my first concern and the first thing I started to research in was reputable sellers. And that led me on my research to buying from the usmint.gov, which anybody who has been in this for any good length of time knows that that is not the best place to buy silver and gold from, because they mark up their prices exponentially. But I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was getting into. And my primary concern was to make sure that I was buying real precious metals, because I had no idea how to verify that silver or gold was real. So that being said, I bought a couple of different American Eagles and a variety of other precious metals at the time. And the way that I do my emergency preps is every time I get a paycheck, I normally dedicate between $100 to $200 on different preps each pay period. For instance, one paycheck I will dedicate solely to food storage. So whether it be my own fresh produce that I then turn around and use my Harvest Right freeze dryer to freeze dry my own food, or buying pre-packaged freeze-dried food like ReadyWise, Peak Refuel, Mountain House, and those sort. And then the same with water storage, ammunition, fire extinguishers, medical supplies, and that sort of thing. And then I just do that every pay period, again between $100 to $200. And so I started slowly accumulating silver throughout the years. I bought one 1/10 ounce gold coin. I didn't really dabble too much in gold. And last year I had reached the point to where I didn't really have much of a net for savings built up, sadly. And then we had an emergency in the house. We had flooding in the house from a mouse chewing through a shower liner in the wall, which we had no idea that this had even happened. We contacted our insurance. They wouldn't cover the damages at all. So that all had to come out of pocket, and that was a lot of money to repair. And so I needed to find some way of liquidating something quickly. And so I turned to my silver reluctantly, because I wanted to hold on to that, but I didn't really have anything else at the time. So I decided to try first calling a variety of different pawn shops to see what they would offer me for silver. Now, I live in Utah, so I didn't really think that this would be too difficult to find a good buyback price for silver. And spot value for silver at the time was close to about $26. It wasn't quite $26. It was 25 something. I don't remember exactly what it was. But I called and asked a variety of different pawn shops and asked what they would buy for 1 ounce of silver, roughly. And they went anywhere from a low between 6 different pawn shops that I called. Of one offered me $13 for an ounce of silver, and the high that they offered a different place was $18 an ounce. And I'm just sitting there thinking, holy crap, are you kidding me? That is ridiculous. I had spent so much money throughout the years accumulating slowly a stockpile of silver, and I'm just sitting there totally disappointed thinking, man, I should be getting around, I don't know, a couple $1,000s for all this stuff, and I might be lucky if I maybe get a couple $100s for all this. And so that was starting to bum me out a little bit. did a little bit of research online, and I found that jmbullion.com, which I had bought some of my silver from, actually would buy back precious metals for the spot value. So I immediately went through consulting them to find out the buyback for that, and I was able to get close to spot. However, the problem was is some of the silver that I had what do you call it, oxidized a little bit. And that's something that people who are interested in buying precious metals need to think about, whether it be gold or silver. And a lot of people like myself might not think about, and that is having airtight storage when it comes to gold and silver, because anything gets in there, it will slowly start to corrode the metal. I thought that I had my silver pretty well secure. I had it in a small gun safe. I had oxygen absorbers in there as well as moisture absorbers placed around it. I never touched the gold, I never touched the silver with my bare hands or anything like that. So I figured that I had it stored pretty well, but still something happened. Some of the silver had got some oxidation on it or whatever, and when I got contact from JM Bullion, they wouldn't pay me quite what I was hoping to get, but I mean, it was still a lot more than I was going to be able to get from a pawn shop. I will show the buyback that they had sent me. But yeah, that's something that you need to take into consideration if you're wanting to get into buying precious metals. You need to think about the storage for it. When it comes to a shtf event, there are two different sides of the emergency preparedness argument. A, the one that all of us have heard, annoyingly, that we have all rolled our eyes at one point in time or another. However, that doesn't mean that it is not true. And that is, well, you can't eat precious metals. Well, I guess unless you go to Salt Bay's restaurant and get one of those tomahawk steaks wrapped in 24 karat gold leaf. It's kind of a weird flex, but whatever. If you want to eat gold, go for it, I guess. I don't recommend it. Never tried it. But so yeah, there's that side of the argument. Then there comes the other side of the argument when it comes to grid down situation, is having it as a universal mean of trading. You go to any country on earth, they might not accept a certain form of currency, whether it be the Chinese yen or whatever it's called, the US dollar, or any of those other types of forms of currency. However, gold and silver is generally universal no matter what country you go to. There will be somebody who will recognize it and will be willing to buy it, trade for it, barter for it. However, the problem is let's say that it is a localized shtf event, like a worst case possible scenario. Let's say power grid goes down, EMP happens, maybe not even necessarily that, but a cyber tech takes down the grid. Slowly fuel starts to run out, and so you've only got, like, I don't know, maybe a 10 to 15 mile walking radius to be able to trade and barter with other people local to you. And a bunch of you had only thought to get gold and silver and nothing else. All right, well, what are you going to eat? There again comes that argument of, well, you can't eat gold, you can't eat silver, and all that everybody has is gold and silver. Now, you might run into people who have food, but they might not necessarily want to sell you their stockpile for gold and silver because they want to eat. So that kind of comes into play there. That's something that everybody needs to take into consideration. As for me, myself, I probably will not be investing further in gold and silver. That's my own personal decision. If you were getting into emergency preparedness, you do want to make sure that you've got all your food storage set away, your fire extinguishers, your medicine, medical supplies, clothing, for all different types of seasons, summer clothing, winter clothing. You got to have your socks, your underwear, all that sort of stuff. Have water filtration. You want to get good emergency preparedness books to give you a broad understanding of a variety of different things. You want to be a jack of all trades when it comes to a grid down situation, a hypothetical grid down situation, or in my case, a Joe of all trades. Anyways, that covers my thoughts on the value of precious metals. Again, I'm not a financial expert. You need to do your own research and find out whether it is a reasonable and responsible financial decision for you getting into this sort of thing. And again, make sure that you've got your other essential emergency preps squared away before you probably start getting into buying precious metals. Again, this is my own opinion. Take it as you will. Thank you.